Warm start to the week, but how long until the cold temperatures return, Clay?
Well, Michelle, we have a couple days of warmth to close out the year, and then it's going to turn colder as we head into the end of the week. And then the week after, it's just going to be bone chilling here across much of the eastern half of the country, including the Tennessee Valley. So here's a look at what we're dealing with this morning. A lot of clouds starting to stream in. Most of the shower activity is going to stay to our north for today, but notice those thicker clouds with these blue tops starting to move in. So we're going to have, once again, a pretty cloudy day on our hands. And of course, we had the strong storms moving through parts of the southeast Saturday into early Sunday. And look at these storm reports. This is over the weekend. Carolinas had a lot of wind damage. Georgia, tornadoes touching down across Alabama, Mississippi, parts of East Texas. But look at us. It was like we were in a dome of safety this weekend. We didn't really have too much in the way of severe weather, just a couple wind reports in Jackson County. So we were relatively unscathed, and we're not going to have any severe threats moving forward. 44 this morning in Dalton, 44 in Athens, 47 in Chattanooga. So a bit on the chilly side as you're waking up. But hey, by this afternoon, get out there and enjoy the weather. We're going to be in the 60s, mostly cloudy, going to be dry today. And you're going to want to enjoy these temperatures because, like I said, they're not going to last too much longer. We got big changes on the way. Out the door this morning, going to have the clouds around 48 by 8 a.m. Light winds out of the south-southwest, and then we'll climb into the 60s after lunchtime. And let's track out the next couple of days as we close out the year. We're going to have maybe a little bit of a break in the cloud cover. I think we'll have more clouds than this, but as we get into the overnight hours, we are going to be tracking our next potential for maybe a little bit of shower activity. Going to be a weak system moving in from the north. Now, this isn't going to be a big deal, but there may be just enough moisture for a few showers between, I would say, about 2 a.m. early tomorrow morning and 8 a.m. So there could be a damp roadway or two for your Tuesday morning commute, but this is a quick moving system. And again, not going to be very impactful. If we get any rain, it's going to be very light. Most areas picking up just a couple of hundredths of an inch, so maybe just enough to wet a few elevated surfaces. So this isn't going to be a big deal. And then moving forward, it looks like it's going to be relatively dry. But the next big thing, it's going to be the Arctic chill that's going to be moving in probably within the next week and a half. It is going to get downright cold. And here's a look at that pattern flip we've been talking about. Turning much colder in January. The coldest air likely coming in the second week of January, so after January 6th. And this is the kind of pattern that would be favorable for a few winter weather threats. Again, still takes a lot for things to really work out, but we are going to monitor that pretty closely moving forward. And that first threat could come as early as late Sunday into Monday. Now, it's going to be very dependent on the track of this low pressure. Right now, it looks like it's going to track and kind of cut across the Ohio Valley, which would bring most of the winter weather just to our north. Now, if it was to cut further to the south and ride the Gulf of Mexico, could be a bit of a different story. And again, this is still a week out, so we're going to watch that pretty closely. And then we could have more chances for maybe a little bit of wintry mischief as we move into next week. So we're going to have to watch that pretty closely. Not going to see any winter weather threats this week, but again, it's just something we're going to monitor because it is going to be very cold. That cold air from Canada going to get pulled down into the East Coast, and it looks like this is going to be prolonged, so it could last couple of weeks before we break out of the icebox. That's why I encourage you to enjoy the next couple of days because Wednesday's kind of the turning point. It's going to be chilly through the end of the week into the weekend. Generally going to have highs in the 40s, overnight lows below freezing, but this isn't going to be nothing compared to what's coming the week after. That's when we could actually have highs in the 30s and the potential for overnight lows in the teens. So like I said, that Arctic air is going to move in after this weekend slowly but surely. Notice those pinks. That's temperatures below zero across the Dakotas. Now, it's not going to get that cold here, but it is going to be quite chilly as we move into next week, especially. That's where we'll have, again, that chance for temperatures to drop into the teens overnight. So go ahead and prepare for that because it is coming here in the next 7 to 10 days. But for us today, like I said, it's going to be nice and warm. 62, partly cloudy and mild tonight. We're going to drop it back into the 40s. A few spotty showers certainly will be possible. And then as we look ahead to your next 7 days, ushering in the new year with some pretty nice conditions. It's going to be 40s as we get into the midnight hour tomorrow night, and then going into the first day of 2025, 49 degrees, closing the week out with some sun, and then maybe a couple of showers on Sunday. So 60s today, Michelle, but after today and tomorrow, it changes in a big way.
Yeah, it sounds like the new year's coming in cold instead of saying coming in hot.
Yeah, it's definitely coming in cold this year. So go ahead and hopefully you got a lot of those jackets for Christmas.
Yeah.
You're going to need them soon.
All right. Thank you, Clay.